Hey bees, I'm Marie from Humblebee and Me, and today we are making a gorgeous foaming shaving cream. And I'm not entirely certain if we should call this a cream, but most foaming shaving sort of substrates that come out of cans and tubes are called cream, so I guess we'll just roll with it. From pretty much the first time I used shaving cream, the stuff that comes in the long tube and you dispense it out and you get this sort of like string of gel that then like miraculously transforms into this gorgeous rich foam that you shave with. Oh, I've loved it ever since I first tried it and have kind of always wanted to have my own DIY version of it. And so this is my latest go at it. And I love this stuff. It does not come out of a tube in a tiny stream of gel, but it is gorgeous. You get a palmful of bubbles and then you smooth them across your skin and it never stops. I'll sort of do one pump for my calves as I shave my legs, not my face. Not yet, at least. I'm sure one day in my old age. But anyhow, it's amazing. Like you'll rub it all over your calf and you're like, wow, there's so much here, even though I didn't put up, and then you'll do an entire pass with your razor and then you'll just kind of go back in and just rub up and down your skin again, and then suddenly there are more bubbles and you can continue, you can do another pass if you so desire, and then you'll rinse it off and your skin is so soft and so smooth, and that feeling lasts for like well over 24 hours, which is just amazing. Like my skin just feels so good. I don't need to put on lotion after I shave my legs when I use this stuff, and it's just like. So this formula did take a couple tries to get right, and the thing that I was kind of struggling to balance with this formula is, so thing one, I wanted to put it in a foamer bottle, and so if you want it in a foamer bottle, it needs to be very thin. It needs to be pretty much water-like in terms of viscosity. So that means you can't put a lot of like solid things in it. But I wanted to put solid things in there. So one of the things that I wanted to include is sodium cocoisethionate, because I love the lather it gives. It gives this gorgeous, rich, creamy, low sort of lace glove lather, and I love it, but it is solid. So I had to sort of work at dialing that back so that it didn't sort of settle out or clog the foamer head. Obviously that is no bueno. Some other considerations in this foaming shaving cream, I wanted it to be sort of moisturizing and soothing, because I know shaving can be irritating, so I made sure to include some panthenol or some vitamin B5 and some vegetable glycerine. And then for some amazing, like super slippy conditioning goodness, we're including some polyquaternium 7, which is cationic, is conditioning, and is really, even though we only use it at like 2%, I would call it pretty much a linchpin ingredient of this formula. It's amazing and really adds to the performance and the wonderfulness of how your skin feels when you're done shaving. The only skill that's really required for this recipe is patience, because we do have a couple fairly long melting periods. We're talking like 30 minutes to an hour, nothing on like the scale of brewing kombucha or anything like that. So I don't know, choose a day when you have maybe some chores to do, so you can just kind of leave it burbling away on your stovetop and just wait for things to sort of melt and dissolve. But yeah, it's not hard. If you have any questions about sort of substitution, scaling, shelf life, where to buy ingredients, please go down to the description box and click through to this post on my blog. Everything is written out there. There are tons of links, lots of useful information. It's very much worth a click. Right now, it's probably taking me at least 10 days to answer questions left here on YouTube, because I do everything chronologically. If I don't, I just lose things. If you leave a question in the comments, you will probably get an answer in like 10 days, but if you go check out the blog, there's a very good chance that you'll get an answer in about 10 seconds. So yeah, let's go make some gorgeous shaving cream. We're going to begin by weighing 2 of our surfactants into a heat-resistant glass measuring cup. So first we're going to need 12 grams of Cocamidopropyl betaine, or Amphosol CG. Our other surfactant is sodium cocoisethionate, and we're going to need 5 grams of that. Now we need to melt this together, so we're going to pop our measuring cup in a water bath, and this is just a small saucepan with about 1 inch or 3 centimeters of water in the bottom of it. And I'm going to go put this on the stovetop over medium heat for about half an hour until this becomes a uniform, translucent paste. Once your surfactants have melted together, we are ready to add the rest of our heated ingredients. So this is 61.5 grams of distilled water, 2 grams of polyquaternium 7, 4 grams of vegetable glycerine, 12 grams of Caprylyl and Capryl glucoside, and 2 grams of panthenol. Now before we pop this back on the heat, I'm going to quickly dry this off, and I'm going to weigh the entire cup with the spatula in it and make note of that weight. And now we're ready to go back over the heat. We're looking for everything here to dissolve and this to just be a uniform clear mixture. I find this takes 40 minutes to an hour depending on how much you fuss over it. But just kind of be patient, go do some other things, and it'll be done before you know it. Alright, everything has dissolved. You can see this just looks like plain old water. We're going to remove this from our water bath. Now, I did end up sort of having to leave that overnight as I was going out, and I didn't have time to film the rest of the video, so this has already come to room temperature as well, which is great. If you have sort of just pulled that out of a hot water bath, you will need to let this come to room temperature before you can add your cool down ingredients. But first we're going to readjust the water amount. And I fully expect the amount of water loss to be a bit more than it usually would be because it has sat uncovered all night. So that's 465.2, and we are looking for 488.1, and remember the spatula was in here the first time, so we want it in here the second time as well. And since this is already cool, we can also add our cool down ingredients. So for our preservative, we're going to need 0.5 gram of liquid germall plus. For scent, I'm actually going to do a blend of some fragrance oils that I've really been enjoying. So I have Amber Romance here from New Directions Aromatics, and I'm going to do 0.2 grams of that. And before I start, I'm actually going to sort of untear the scale here, because I find that those first couple numbers on the scale sometimes don't register. So if it's already like this, then I can sort of go for 489.2, and I find that those small numbers stand a better chance of registering when we're not starting from 0. We're going to do 0.6 grams of bourboned tobacco, and this is from Windy Point. We'll be using a disposable pipette for this. And lastly, 0.2 grams of green Irish tweed from Rustic Essentials. So remove that and give it a stir. It will get cloudy as the surfactants solubilize the fragrances. Now, of course, you can use essential oils, you can use different fragrances if you prefer. This is just sort of a scent blend that I've been enjoying. We got some samples of some fragrance oils in our goodie bags at the HBBB conference in Toronto, and I thought I should play with some of them. So now we're ready to package this. So you'll need a foamer bottle. You'll notice this one already has some liquid in it. It's exactly this. It's the version of this that I made to post on the blog. So I'm just going to top this off because this is, I think maybe like 12 or 18 hours old. So just kind of add that. So yeah, you do need a foamer bottle to make this work, and do make sure it's new. Foamer bottles have tons and tons and tons of little intricacies, and you cannot adequately clean them to safely reuse them. So please make sure it is a new bottle. And cap that off. And then we can go for a pump. These little pumps often take a little while to prime, so give me a moment here. There we go. I can hear it working its way up. And there we go. So you got really lovely foam. Now it's got some sort of bigger bubbles and isn't quite as like lofty as some, but the beautiful thing about this is that it just goes and goes and goes forever. It's got the most amazing slip. You can see you just get this wonderful fine layer of bubbles that you can use that just has, yeah, to pull your razor through. This is just absolutely amazing, and I really find that, you know, you'll sort of do one pass of, you know, your legs or something. Obviously, I'm not testing this on my face. And then you can just kind of work up more lather after you've done a pass. Like, it just goes and goes and goes, and it's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful and has the most wonderful wash off. So there you go. You just made a lovely foaming shaving cream. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe. Do remember to check the description box below for the link to this recipe on the blog, where you'll find, you know, the full written recipe, links to the ingredients, information on substitutions and scaling, information on shelf life, lots of good stuff over there. So thanks so much, and I'll see you next time.